Good evening. It is Friday, April 8th, 2022. On at least one occasion, when I was a very mouthy teenager, my mother once told me that I had diarrhea of the mouth and constipation of the mind. She did have a way with words. In a similar vein, a mentor pastor once told me that God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I should use them in proportion. Often, we struggle to learn what to do when our words overrun our common sense, and we say things with our mouth that we cannot follow through with. Solomon had some thoughts on this very issue. In Proverbs chapter 6, verses 1 to 5, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition, he says, "My child, if you've put up security for a friend's debt, or agreed to guarantee the debt of a stranger, if you've trapped yourself by your agreement and you're caught by what you said, follow my advice and save yourself, for you've placed yourself at your friend's mercy. Now swallow your pride, go and beg to have your name erased. Don't put it off, do it now. Don't rest until you do. Save yourself like a gazelle escaping from a hunter, like a bird fleeing from a net." Solomon talks about a situation where you've promised more than you can really fulfill. Someone comes to you and they've got a hard luck story, and you want to look like the wonderful, helpful friend, and you want to do the right thing and be good and get all the strokes from people for how generous and wonderful you are and what a marvelous helper you are. And so you agree to help someone. And boy, you get lots of strokes and you sound good and you gain generosity points with your circle of friends. And everybody's impressed with you. Boy, what a wonderful person you are. And you just swell up with pride. But then Solomon says, now you're trapped. You're stuck. And you're having to pay something you really can't afford to be paying. Listen to what he says to do. The first thing he says to do is swallow your pride. You know, if we're not careful, our mouth can make a lot of promises that we can't fulfill. And Solomon's here saying that maybe you want to think twice before we make the promises, because it's a lot easier to keep our mouth quiet to begin with than it is to have to come back and swallow the pride later. But he says, now that you're trapped, go swallow your pride and beg. Oh, but we turned out so well. We look so good. We look so generous. And now we're having to beg. What a cut to the ego. What a blow to our self-esteem. But it's our mouth that got us there. And it's our mouth that's got to get us out. It's just now we're going to have to swallow our pride and beg and ask them to erase our name off the contract. Let's pull ourselves out of this situation. In fact, he says, run. Run like the gazelle. Run like, fly away like the bird. Get yourself out of the situation. Swallow your pride, beg, and run to get out of the situation. Oh, what a bursting of the pride that is. What a popping of the bubble of consciousness that occurs. And yet, that's what happens when our mouth overruns our good common sense. When our mouth promises more than we can deliver. He says, don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do. Don't hang around waiting for it to get better, because, hey, it's not going to get better. As soon as you recognize you're trapped, get out of the trap. Work at it. We need to weigh our words carefully. We need to make sure that our words are seasoned with wisdom and understanding. And quite frankly, we just sometimes need to be quiet. Someone comes to us with an issue or a problem and we can't solve it. Maybe it's best we just listen and not stick our 2 cents worth in. And maybe they don't need our 2 cents worth. Maybe what they need is our listening ear. And we can be a lot more helpful that way than we can by always jumping in to save everybody's other situations and their problems. Be a support, be a strength. But sometimes it's best to be quiet and not jump in and get involved. May you be the helpful person God wants you to be without letting your mouth overrun your capacity. God bless you.